Greetings, earthen beings. I'm Shraya.
Flynn.
Olma.
Ceallach.
And I'm your DM, Ethan. Welcome to Venture Forth. Previously, you had all met a dwarf by the name of Hayfreed. He was residing in a temple in meager attire, but after a bit of conversation, you guys found this to be almost a front for what lay beneath those clothes. A powerful wizard? Mage? Whatever he may be, you guys dug a little bit deeper into his past, finding that he had, in previous lifetimes, been member of different cults around the world. He had traveled around the world doing nefarious things for nefarious people, and one of those nefarious organizations was the Order of the Red Wolf. He offered to help you all by removing whatever curse lay upon Flynn, and by taking you back to his house, he opened this portal, a gateway into another dimension. You guys walked in and were greeted by this endless void with numerous floating platforms, each platform containing some different use. As you guys walked in, you guys had a little bit of a moral quandary, as in order to remove this demon from Flynn, you guys needed to have another host body for the soul to go into. After some conversation, you guys ended up settling on a sheep, and Shraya and Olma went to fetch the sheep while Flynn and Ceallach stayed behind and had a revealing conversation about where this demon originated and maybe some of its goals. After you guys came back with the sheep, the soul was successfully transferred, but not easily, and the sheep began to transform into a hideous beast. After some time, you guys beat and battered this beast, but were unable to kill it. Finally, Hayfreed, taking his arm and extending it and creating out of thin air within this void a brand new cage, dropped it over the top of this beast, trapping him for the time being. You guys all stood around sort of stunned at what had just happened and what had just transpired, and now on this floating platform in the middle of the ether, you have a sheep demon beast, this hulking creature about 15 feet tall, breathing heavily, banging at the sides of this cage, yelling to be set free in this demon language. And as you guys are looking at it and looking at each other, what would you all like to do?
I would just be sitting there in front of the cage, staring blankly at this abomination, just letting it sink in that I passed it off to something else. And just with a blank look as it's screaming and thrashing and banging at the cage, just unmoving, I'm just looking at it. And I'll stand up. How far away is the exit?
The exit's about 50 feet behind you.
I walk to the exit. I'll just go through it if I can.
Okay. The door is open, and everyone else watches as you step through this goopy ink and emerge on the other side in Hayfreed's house.
And I'll walk off.
Boy, we sure do know how to troll party, eh?
It is rather terrifying looking.
Hey, pipe down in there, all right? We're trying to have a conversation here.
I can't even look at it.
Oh. As they, how's Hayfreed look if I get a glance at him?
Hayfreed is currently on the other platform where Flynn's exorcism happened, and he is laying on the floor unconscious.
I'm gonna rush over to him to see if he is alive.
Okay.
I'm gonna go ahead.
Yeah. What do you want to do?
I'm gonna turn to Shraya because he went with me to go get the sheep. Shraya, do you think he knew that would happen?
No, I feel like I very much misled this being. But I would like to make good on one of my promises. And my head darts around, looks for the the cornmeal delicacy thing that had been made on that special platform. Is there any nearby that had been in preparation to feed the thing?
Yes, there's a bowl that was just finished, that was ordered by you but had not been eaten.
I grab the bowl and I sort of without even looking into the. Oh well, I guess I should ask this first. Is the bowl wide and not too wide to be able to be slid through the bars? Could I feasibly do that?
You could probably fit it through the bars, yeah.
Okay, so I'm just gonna turn around and twist and crouch, not look at the thing, just sort of inch my way up to the cage, and with sliding the bowl with my hand back through the cage. We're like,
Here, I can at least make good on that one promise that I kept saying over and over again.
And it lunges forward at you and slams its shoulder into the side of the cage, rattling the entire thing, but the cage remains unmoving.
Shraya?
Yeah! Yes!
Don't get too close.
and I lunge forward after I slide the bowl onto my stomach and inch my way away from it.
Ceallach, as this all is happening, I'm gonna have you make a medicine check for Hayfreed.
21.
Mental and physical exhaustion. He is spent, and from what he's told you previously, he hasn't practiced magic in a long time, so it has taken a serious strain on him just to be doing this.
Good. Get some rest, you codger. You've done well. I'm going to look around. Is there a platform with a bunch of pillow forts? Is one of these?
Make a perception check. Most of these things are floating around in these strange concentric circles, and some of them are kind of tough to see.
So 23.
23. Looking around, you see one that looks maybe you can't quite tell. It's sort of off in the distance. It sort of has what might be a bed and maybe some dressers on it, possibly like a little living quarter.
Okay, I'm gonna. Oh gosh, been a while since I've done any proper lifting, and I'm gonna try and get him over to that. I don't know if the stones will form in front of my feet, but I will sort of test that. And if they do,
okay.
I'll go that way.
As you step over to the side of the platform, this other platform is sort of moving and rotating circle around the current platform that you're standing on. And as you put your foot down to walk over towards it, your foot sinks down and is not greeted by anything as your foot submerges itself into the endless void.
Ceallach, where are you going?
Just trying to get this man a proper rest after all that.
But he has a home on the other side of this world. So.
Oh, right. That's fair. Doesn't look like this way is gonna work anyway. And I kind of do a couple jabs at the void with my foot. I feel uncomfortable leaving this place, though, especially without some kind of guarantee that that's gonna hold. And I look nervously at the cage.
I mean, he's bashing it pretty hard.
Yeah. I don't know. It's kind of amazing what this little dwarf was capable of. Not that size is any indication, just... I mean... look at it. Look at this place. Anyway, and I'll have made my way closer to Olma. I don't know how we're supposed to proceed from here, seems like. Flynn probably isn't doing too well.
I don't understand.
Well, he was pretty adamant that we not do the very thing we did.
I know, but he was possessed, so why? And now he's not.
I know.
Understand.
I agree with your reasoning, Olma, and we're in muddy waters, I'm going to rid the world of evil. I'm going to do that. And I understand that the path to that is maybe not a clean one. So, this is, despite how awful it is and how awful it looks, probably necessary for us to proceed. Flynn might not feel that way. It's up to us to calmly and kindly disillusion him.
You think I was too mean?
I think you were very strong-willed.
Well, I just don't understand why you would want to keep that inside of him.
Hey,
And I can't pretend to understand.
Well, he's a little
if people
guy.
are being dumb, I can't pretend not to notice.
When you're that small and the world is full of horrors like this one, you get some kind of notion that you've got to prove yourself.
He's small?
Come on, Olma.
He's just as big as I am.
I feel I might have misled the small one too.
See? That's what he calls him. That's what he calls him.
Did I say small one? My dear friend Flynn. Yes.
I had an idea about that.
That's my first
Shraya.
What?
Maybe go with the threatening one. Hey?
Yes, I think, especially after an interaction like now, that might boost him up a little bit.
Not to be too on the nose, but little things go a long way with Flynn.
Shraya,
Yes.
don't be too hard on yourself. I know you brought the sheep here with me, but like Ceallach said, it was a necessary evil
Yes.
to rid the world.
I believe you, and I believe that this world around us, this big wide world, is nothing in it is perfect, and yet everything exists in its perfect balance and harmony. We just put it out of balance so that we could put it back in balance, I suppose.
What did Flynn call us earlier? The agents of repair?
Yes.
Well, maybe we repaired him. I wish he would see it that way.
Maybe one day he will.
If this is what repair looks like. And I look at the beast, the cage. I'd hate to see what it'd look like if we broke it.
I think there are forces seeking to break the world already. And we've seen evidence of that on our journeys.
Right.
Oh, fuck. Oh, my shoulder. Oh, God.
Hayfreed!
Sorry.
You're
Yeah.
awake! How you doing?
Wish I wasn't.
Oh, I know. I'm sorry. We could take you back to your home now.
Yeah, no, I think I'm just gonna hang out here for a while.
All right. Sorry.
Okay.
I'll gently put him down.
Are you sure?
Yeah, no, I'm fine.
Would you like a
Okay.
berry?
Can I give me just one moment? And he reaches his hand up and once again, with his arm raised, catches another platform out of the floating abyss and guides it back down over to right next to the platform that you guys are currently standing on. And, Ceallach, if you'll just let me... Here, I got it.
Oh, yeah.
And he sort
of course.
gets on his own 2 feet and walks over, and you can see that this platform is filled with these rows of tables. This platform is considerably bigger than the other ones that you guys are on. The ones that you guys are on are probably about, I'd say 40 by 40. This one's probably about 80 by maybe 100. And as you guys see, it is just rows and rows of tables. And on top of each table looks like chemicals, brewing potions, things bubbling, a little campfire off in the distance with a cauldron that seems to have some sort of bubbling liquid on top. And as he hobbles over, he stumbles and sort of gets himself propped up on one of the tables, looks through some of these vials, pops open one of them, and chugs it back as life seems to come back to him.
He did fantastic work there. Hayfreed, I got to express my gratitude.
I appreciate that. Can I offer any of you any of these right here? I think they might help.
Sure. I don't know. Are they typical healing potions, or?
They'll do a bunch of different things.
Yeah, that's my concern.
But, they might taste a little bit stale, but because I've been in here for a while. Ceallach, are you hurt?
Yeah, nothing a good night's sleep would do, but...
Here. And he tosses one over towards you. You catch it. It's a little red vial. Olma, are you all right?
I'm doing okay. I think it would probably help.
Okay. I think this one might be a little bit better for you. And he tosses you one, and this one is a little yellow vial. And he grabs a very similar yellow vial himself and drinks it and knocks it back.
Cheers. And I will take it, not knowing what it is.
Okay.
What do I feel?
You feel sort of like this well of magical energy sort of surging through you, and all of your spell slots are regained.
What?
Woo!
Wow.
That's cool.
Hey, Shraya,
Yes.
did you get hit? I honestly, I didn't see most of that fight.
You were kind of in a state.
All right.
Yeah, I took a couple, yes. Also, I would very much not like to be left out if we're all trying these things.
I mean, here, and then he tosses you a red vial.
Oh, blows.
Hayfreed,
Yeah,
did that go the way you envisioned?
not quite.
Would you consider that a job well done?
I mean, and he looks over towards the cage, and he sees the creature still like bashing against the walls and just thrashing. Yeah, I'd say we did what we needed to do.
Right. Did you know it was gonna look like that if it was in the sheet?
No fucking idea.
Wow. It's really gnarly.
Yeah. Speaking of which, and he lifts his hand up towards all the platforms. The platform that you guys had trapped this beast on was sort of the center platform. And he reaches his hand up, and you guys see all of the other platforms sort of detach. The bridges disintegrate around this platform. And the platforms all start rotating independently, none of them having sort of a central cohesion. And this platform with the beast on it begins to rise up and join in on the rest of the circling platforms as he reaches his hand back up and creates this new central platform out of these stones that just apparate out of nothing, and the bridges once again reform.
This place is so cool.
It's incredible.
It's a marvel of something I don't understand.
Do you feel confident, Hayfreed, that that thing is going to stay in that cage?
Yeah, pretty confident. I mean, theoretically, I could do this for any number of creatures.
Wow.
How did you come upon such power?
I bet that's why Ernest Honeypot was here. He was here to talk to you.
Yeah, probably.
Did you tell him you could do this?
Yeah, I mean,
Oh.
I mean, not exactly. I mean, how do you explain this in,
Right.
a conversation? But I think we got to the point where I told him that I studied for years and years to get to this point. He admittedly seemed disappointed, and the conversation didn't really go beyond that.
Oh, he seemed disappointed.
That
Yeah.
you studied hard for your strength and achievement?
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, wow. He doesn't want people who study?
What a little
I don't
bastard.
know.
That's annoying. If anything, you should be lauded because you spent so long studying.
Right? That's what I'm saying.
I tend to agree.
And then he melted, so,
Yeah,
Right.
that shows
There was
Have
that.
you ever seen that before?
I mean, I've seen people melt. I've melted some people, but I mean, it wasn't exactly like that.
I
That's
just
probably a little
like-
bit too much information.
My eyes just
Yeah.
glaze over because I'm just completely ignoring that information. I'm just moving on.
Should we check on Flynn?
We should. I did want to ask a few more things.
I'll go check on Flynn then.
All right.
Okay. Olma, you run across the platforms, this newly created center platform. You run through the goopy threshold, and you are greeted once again by fresh air that fills your lungs. You sort of have to take that initial breath as you realize that the air that was in your lungs when you were in the void sort of vacated. So you have to get that air back in your lungs. So it's a shocking first breath. But then you walk back out into the home, and I assume you don't see Flynn there. Flynn, where have you gone?
So when I left, could I have grabbed my bag?
Yeah.
Like my stuff. Yeah. So when I left, I would have grabbed my bag and headed out. I would have exited the house and just kind of started walking with no intention of a direction. What? As I leave the house, what's it look like outside? What time of day is it?
It is late afternoon at this point.
I would pick a way and just go. Just start walking down a path. Just thinking about what happened. Just trying to process it.
Just real quick, what I'm going to do is I am going to roll a d6 for you, just to see what direction you're going.
Okay.
Are there 6 directions?
6 cardinal directions. You can
There
go
are
up or
only
down.
6 directions.
In this world.
Okay. All right. So you head out and you start walking, and you look to your right and left as you leave the house, and off to your right you can sort of see the rest of the town and the town center, and you can see the temple just up ahead, and none of that really interests you. You don't want to be around people at all. And then you see off to your left fields of wheat just sort of rolling in the breeze. And in the middle of the field, sprouting out triumphantly, you see a single oak tree.
Yeah, I'll kind of feel drawn to that calmness or like lack of people.
Tranquility.
Tranquility.
Solitude.
Solitude, thank you, that's what I'm looking for. And I'll kind of start walking just towards that tree, towards that open area. And I'll, just kind of, when I get close enough, I'll kind of get situated and maybe on my shoulder, I'll put my hands in my pockets and kind of like just walk because it's probably getting colder out. And I'll feel that piece of paper that I stole from the pack and pull it out, look at it, and then kind of get to the tree, take my bag off, just stare at this freaking paper and try to understand it again.
Okay, make an intelligence check.
Definitely not. 6.
It's gibberish. It might be coded. There are some pictures that you don't know what the little inscribings, you don't know what they are.
What the heck? And I'll put it back, fold it up, throw it in my bag, and just pull out my backpack, pull out my book, and start flipping through the pages of hand gestures and spells and things that I can learn. And I'm just scrolling through it, trying to find something. I need to get stronger. I need to learn what that says. And I'm just going to start going through, and I'm going to land on a page and kind of read it and look at the hand gestures and try and swipe my hand on the ground, try and cast one of these spells. And I'm going to spend just an hour, 2 hours just going through this book, practicing spells. I don't have any spell slots, but I'm going to try and force magic. And the more and more I'm not casting something, it makes me more and more frustrated until the point that I'm just so exhausted.
All right. What I'm going to do is, Olma, I'm going to have you roll a d6 for me.
Yeah. How does time work inside and outside the closet? 1.
A 1. Okay. You exit the house of Hayfreed, and you're looking around.
Flynn?
You look off to your left, and you see these rolling fields of wheat. You look to your right, and you see the town center, and you see some people over there talking, and you see a halfling dart through the crowd. That might have been Flynn.
I go that direction.
Okay. And you come across this crowd of people, and you're immediately greeted by the conversation that they're having, just about the upcoming weather and the upcoming harvest season here. Things about the war and if the front is ever going to be pushed back far enough to where they're going to have to leave their homes, and when this conflict is ever going to end. And you see a human woman talking about how her daughter has stopped writing to her from the war front. And looking around, you see a halfling. And they turn around, and it is not Flynn.
Oh, sorry, I thought you were my friend.
That's okay. Can I help you with something?
No, I don't think so. Unless you've seen
Okay.
another halfling recently.
Yeah.
Unless you've seen someone who looks like you,
I mean,
but isn't you.
are you talking about my brother? He's back at the house if you have business with him.
Brother. No, I don't think he has a brother.
Okay. Goodbye.
Bye.
And he turns and goes back to his conversation.
I just spin in circles in the crowd, just looking.
Make a perception check for me.
Flynn? Oh, that's a 5.
Oh,
5? You have no idea where Flynn went.
Oh, man. Circle, circle, circle. I'll make my way back towards the house, looking the whole way to see if I see like little footprint tracks.
All right.
Or
And
if I hear anything.
with your perception, you would not be able to hear anything. No.
I'm gonna sit on the stoop outside the house. Put my chin in my hands. Flynn! Nothing. Just gonna sit there, I guess, and hope he comes back. That's what I'm gonna do.
Okay. Flynn, as you are sort of getting yourself into sort of this mindset of trying to force this thing out of you, I am going to have you make a Constitution saving throw.
Sure. Okay. 16.
16. What page did you land on in your spellbook?
So I landed on a page that basically the hand motion that I'm doing is it uses the red symbol, and the motion is to channel that energy, the red energy in my fingers, and then touch the ground and swipe in a circular motion around my body, kind of like around in a circle. And as I swipe my hand up, I bring it up, and it's supposed to bring wind to start traveling around me in a circle. But every time I'm swiping, it's not working and it's not happening. So that's the page that I'm on. It's
Okay. With a 16, I'm going to have you make an Arcana check.
Ooh, okay. All right. Another 16.
Another 16. You're feeling like you're close, but you keep trying over and over and over and over. And one time you do it, and just a tiny gust, just barely a whisper of wind comes up off the ground, and you keep trying and you keep trying and you keep trying, and you take a point of exhaustion.
Swiping.
And you keep going and you keep going and you keep going, and you just are not able to get this as you take a second point of exhaustion.
Come on! I try again.
Okay. Make a Constitution saving throw at disadvantage.
Oh, I rolled a natural 20. But the other one's good too. It's a 16, so a total of 21.
16 with a total of 21. You don't pass out.
Okay.
That's the effect that got. You don't pass out.
But I fall back onto the tree, slump down, and I pull the note back out again, that piece of paper, and I stare at it. And I stare at my book, and I stare at my tattoos. What am I doing wrong? What? I'll notice on my bag, I notice a little metal head. And I'll put the book down, put the paper inside it, close it, put it down, and reach out and grab Thaddeus. And I'll bring him over and I'll turn him on for 10 minutes if I can.
Hello.
Hey, Thaddeus.
Hi, Flynn.
How you doing?
I'm doing well. Better now that I'm awake.
I had a feeling you would. I'm just exhausted going through my thoughts. How... Before this happened, and I'll point to his head. How powerful were you?
I mean, I could hold my own. I mean, I wasn't slaying dragons or anything like that, but I could probably... I was regularly going up against guys twice my size.
Do you know how to get more powerful? Like, how did you learn your spells?
I found that my power just came from within, my devotion to the mission that I was taking part of, the people who I had around me, and not only learning from them, but being able to take in those lessons to heart of what I was taking away from each battle, each conversation that I had, and my further devotion to what I was doing.
Yeah, I'm not looking for that. I'm looking for power. Do you know how to... And I'll pull that paper out. Can you read this?
Let me look at it. Can you give me one moment?
Yeah.
And his eyes sink back, and purple fades, and this golden light comes to the forefront. And he spends a minute concentrating on this piece of paper. And the purple comes back. And he says,
Oh, I'm afraid you have an incomplete set here. This looks like some sort of ritual to cast. I honestly, at my experience, I don't know the exact spell that this casts, but I do know that it is incomplete, and that there are only pieces of it here. But it should give you instructions on how to cast some sort of ritual spell.
I'll turn it to me and look at it. Still not being able to read it. Huh. One day. I'll fold it up, put it back in the book. I don't know what to do right now anymore.
Is that something I can help with? What's going on?
Well, I don't know if you know this, but I don't have horns anymore.
I did notice. I thought it might be better to not mention.
That's all I'm thinking about right now. But if I was just stronger, I could have taken care of it on my own. A sentinel would be able to take care of it. I'm definitely not that. Now it's locked in some cage because I couldn't take care of it. I tear up a little bit. Now I need to figure out a way. Yep. Be stronger.
Flynn, I'm not gonna lie, you're scaring me a little bit.
The first time I've heard that. People aren't usually scared of me.
Is that something you want? You want people to be scared of you?
I don't know. Maybe.
Where does your power come from currently?
I'll look at my tattoos. These, I guess.
Well, those are tattoos. Yeah?
They're not just any tattoos. I'll summon my sword.
That's a neat trick.
Now, rub my fingers together and run them across the blade. Cast Green Flame Blade and hit the tree. Sparks of flame hit it.
Another cool trick.
If I was stronger, I'd be able to show you more, but I can't right now. Even after casting that, it takes the wind out of me, and I slump back down on the tree and sit.
roll another Constitution.
Sure. At disadvantage?
At disadvantage.
Sure. So, when I roll a 1 and a 2, I can re-roll the 1, right? To hopefully not get another 1.
Yes.
Okay.
But best case scenario.
Best case scenario, it's not a crit fail. Okay. So I rolled an 18 on the one. So 2 plus 5, 7. How many am I at? 3?
You are now at 3 points of exhaustion.
What is it, like 2 more till you die?
It's 3. I think you get to 6 and you're fine.
You get to 6 before you die. If you get to 6, you die.
Yeah. So I do that, cast it, and then I slump on the tree, sit down again.
I just noticed something interesting, Flynn.
What? That these don't do much at all?
No, I noticed that you just did that. I wasn't afraid of you at all. If I had been afraid of you, would it have made your power... Would it have made that spell more than what it just was?
I don't know. Yes. This makes the target not want to fight. It makes them want to back down. If I show them that I'm strong, they won't mess with me.
All right, fine. Okay.
Maybe I just need more. Maybe I just need more tattoos. Maybe that's how I do this.
You look at Thaddeus and he is deactivated. Although 10 minutes has not transpired.
I'm going to try and cast the spell again. I'm going to rub my fingers together. The evocation red tattoo is going to flicker and not charge as much. It's waning. I'm going to put my fingers on the ground and I'm going to swipe. Try and cast the spell again, trying to get the winds to move.
You take another point of exhaustion as you feel the life just draining from your body. You can barely raise your arms at this point. And nothing happens, not even a flicker of a spell. Olma, back at the house, you see a green flame burst up from just beyond the wheat and sort of off towards this oak tree.
I'm gonna go toward it.
Okay. As you're running through these wheat stalks, they're sort of you're getting those little mini cuts that you get just as like, you know, how grass sort of just barely cuts your skin. And as you're running through, you come to this open patch where the tree is. And at this point, you see Flynn laying there, slumped over, unable to raise his arms, Thaddeus on the ground, deactivated.
Flynn? Flynn! I'm gonna run up to him.
I'm passed out. You see my hands kind of slumped to each side. You see the sword dropped right next to my left hand, just on the ground. I'm just up against the tree, just passed out.
Flynn! And I'm gonna go towards... I'm already next to him. I'm gonna go down onto my knees and put his head on my lap. Flynn, what happened? Flynn! And I'm gonna hit him on the face. Flynn! Are you okay?
I look around, and I'm just kind of like getting back to it. No.
What happened? Do we need to take you back? Did something happen without the monster inside of you?
No. Just, practicing.
Practicing what?
Like, limply point my hand towards my book. That's probably open.
Magic?
Yeah.
What are you doing all the way out here practicing magic?
I just, needed a area to think.
Well, did something go wrong? Did you hurt yourself?
Something definitely went wrong. And I'll look at you for the first time.
What went wrong?
That was my burden. That was mine. And you put it in that thing.
Yeah. Why do you need a burden? Don't we have enough that we're trying to do? Why do you need an extra burden?
Not that I need it. That it was mine to deal with. And you took that away.
I didn't take it away from you.
You tricked me.
We're a team. We're here to help each other. I didn't take anything away from you.
I didn't want to do that.
I'm sorry.
And I'm going to try and stand up, slump back down on the tree. Once again, I'm stuck here. Like I'm stuck here in that cage. Helpless.
Flynn, why do you feel so helpless all the time? You're not helpless. We wouldn't be here without you. You help us all the time. Remember when you charged forward and you broke apart mud monsters? Remember when you made sure that Zergath didn't hurt anyone and you got Kerr to the Iron Light?
Yeah.
And you have been battling a cultist in your head for so long. And you've still been super helpful the whole time.
Yeah. I don't know. I wanted to be able to take care of it on my own, because that's what a sentinel does. They can take care of their problems on their own.
Flynn, I don't know anything about the Iron Light Collective, but I do know that nobody can really do anything on their own. And I reach into my pocket and I pull out a little acorn. And I hold it in the palm of my hand. You have us now. Just like all sentinels have the Iron Light behind them. It's okay to need people every once in a while.
I kind of crack a smile. Okay, Olma.
I like that name you called us. The Agents of Repair, and we repaired you.
Yeah. I guess. Not in the way I wanted, but just...
I'm sorry that you feel... I'm sorry that I took away your agency. I'm sorry that I forced this. But I'm gonna do it again if it means that you're safe, and that I'm safe, and that Ceallach and Shraya are safe. Because it's the right thing to do.
I don't know. I didn't like being tricked. That sucked. I trust you guys. And it hurt. When you showed up with that stupid sheep. I didn't think that was never in my years did I think that was going to be what happened. I thought you guys were going to honor my request. And that's why I went in the cage, so we could talk to it. So yeah, if that ever happens again, if it happened to you guys, I would want to honor how you would want to deal with it.
Flynn, if I were possessed by a demon, I would want you to make sure I was safe, regardless of what I thought I wanted.
If there was something that you wanted to do on your own, I would honor that.
You don't see a difference?
Not right now,
Okay.
but I'm also really tired.
Well, let's get you some sleep. Come on.
And I'll try and stand up. I might need help.
I'm always here to help.
Okay.
And I go over and loop his arm over my shoulder. Ugh, you're really heavy.
Hey. Thanks. Here, and I'll put my bag together and kind of like, you can...
I'll put it over my shoulder. You look better without horns.
I'll like slowly raise my hand and rub my forehead. I think my hair kind of looked cool with him now.
Your hair looks cool now.
All right.
I'll help him limp back to the main house.
Yeah.
Okay. As that all is happening, Ceallach and Shraya, still in the void. What are you guys up to?
So, Hayfreed, I wanted to ask you, and I'm gonna settle into is there a chair or something in this?
He sees you looking around, and he raises his hand up, and 2 chairs apparate.
Thank you. I noticed a platform you had here of statues.
Yeah.
Or maybe not. You know, statues made by sculptors. I used to take part in a ceremonial practice where when somebody died, they would be... their remains would be turned to stone. And I couldn't help but wonder if it was anything like that.
Yeah. Those are... It's tricky. You've probably heard of people being turned to stone before. This is a little bit more advanced than that.
How
This
do you
wasn't
mean?
done by any creature or any sort of... It's a very powerful curse. And it's even me beyond. I've spent years trying to figure out how to get them back. And I have come up short.
You're trying to help them recover.
Yeah.
What are they?
They're people.
Do you know of what origin?
Yeah, they were in my way. And
I see.
I don't know how to reverse it.
Hayfreed, I can't stress enough the service you've done for us. You know, Flynn might not agree, but you probably saved his life. And probably some of ours. So, seem to be saying this a lot lately, but there's no ledger, you know, with these deeds. But the effort we make to do the right thing That's what counts. In my book, anyway.
It's tough when it's counting against a lifetime of shitty things.
You've been alive a little longer than I have, but I'm familiar with the feeling. And the other thing I wanted to ask you is a bit lighter. You mentioned there were other doors out of this place.
Yeah.
I was wondering...
Not doors in the same, similar way that one is that you came in, but entrances and exits.
Ah, I see. And where did those lead, if you don't mind?
All over the place. I don't know how many of them will still work, but they can go... back in the day, I could step in and out and go anywhere in a moment.
Right. Well, we are headed to the capital, so I don't know, I just thought I would put that out there.
If you need transportation, I could get you there pretty quickly.
That would be something of a service to us.
Yeah. I will say, it's been a while since I've used these. And from in here, you need the circle in order to get through, but then you also need the circle on the other side to be intact. Now, it's been a while since I've done one of these, but it's possible that over the years, either with the outlawing of teleportation in this degree, that they've been defaced in order for me, anyone, to not be able to get from place to place easily, or just with time, these things degrade. So there's no guarantee.
We could look into it. So long as we don't have to sacrifice another sheep, I expect we'll survive. At least the observation of such a thing. How are you doing?
I'm fine. Just tired. Mentally tired. It's been a while since I've done these things.
I suppose we'll probably catch a night's rest somewhere and reflect on this. If I've never met anyone as powerful as you. I don't think. I mean, I've maybe one or two. Definitely one. But I'll keep my eyes out for the removal of such a curse. I tend to run into things like that. I owe you one.
You owe me nothing.
All right.
I'm going to spend some time up there.
And he points off to one of these floating platforms, and you can see it's one of the same. It's the same floating platform that you guys were on before. That's just piled high with papers and books and everything.
I'm going to spend some time up there. You all seem to be interested in my work with the Red Wolf. I'll see if I can pull anything.
That would be very helpful. That seems to be our true north, our compass.
I will say, if you're comfortable with your God and your faith and how you're currently doing things, I wouldn't let them get too far.
How do you mean?
I mentioned before that their thing is chaos.
Yeah. The creature inside Flynn's noggin said as much ad nauseum.
Chaos with the means to divide people, letting loose things that will create absolute chaos and not have any sort of organization within the population of this world. And when there's chaos and no one organized, especially not organized to worship and have religion, the gods lose their power. So I'd say if you're comfortable with the magic that you're using and not seeing that well run dry, these people are not going to be your friends.
The gods draw their power from their worshippers.
That's what they believe, at least.
The
And if you take that away,
cult.
the gods become within striking distance.
Right. That's always been something of a mind-bender to me. How the usurpation even took place. I thought, the high mountain was not a place you could go and just boot somebody from their seat.
Evidently it is.
Suppose we all learned something that day. Well, whether or not it's true, the cult of the Red Wolf is definitely up to something evil. And, I take issue. So, we'll put a stop to it. Or we'll end up like that sheep.
Well, yeah. Hopefully not.
God's willing. Shraya,
Wait! Before you go! And during this time that they've been having this conversation, I've taken out a component from under my feathers. It's like a little plank of wood. And I've been druid crafting, or I also have produced flame, but I would have heated the tip of the crystal at the end of my staff to be like glowing and ember and flame. And I've been making some flame art of him to the best of my ability, maybe even just stick figure of a conjurer conjuring a cage above a demonic mass, and I say, I know you said we don't owe you anything, but words cannot express how infinitely grateful we are. And then I hand him this plank that has, however well I could have made an image for his remembrance.
I'm gonna have you make a sleight of hand check.
Awesome.
The new artist of the party.
My tools are rudimentary. Yeah, that's a 5, so maybe not.
Maybe not.
Shraya, this is beautiful. Thank you. I'm going to put this over my fireplace.
Some weird flame, scorched scribbles.
I'll tell you what. You know what? How about a trade? I'll take this. And give me 1 second.
And he runs over and starts sifting through all of these tables. And you see he knocks some stuff over. And he comes back and he seems to be holding a bracelet. And he tosses it over to you, Shraya.
Oh,
and
gotcha.
It's this little bracelet, and it looks blue, but when you see it a little bit further, the blue is actually these little eyes. It looks like eyes that are just repeating themselves all the way around this bracelet and sort of forming a band there. And he says,
I don't know who this would help with you all, but this might help for any... If you see a crystal and think you might want to smash it, this might help you take a closer look to see if anyone's going to get possessed. I just want to make sure that that's off the table for you all. Seems like you kind of had a shitty time with that. So I want you to have this, just a little bit of intuition.
No, thank you. Yes, we definitely want to try to avoid that scenario again.
And beyond that, if you all want to come back whenever, and I can try and help take you to Oakenspire.
as you look out into this Red Wolf thing, this expression, Vosronath, salvation through chaos, right? Vosronath Erdu. That's what he said. Do you think Vosronath is a person? Or just an idea? Or maybe
That's a
you could
good
get
question.
back to me on that.
I'll see if I can find anything.
I wonder if it's some kind of... I'm not a linguist, right? But some overlap between this concept of the outcast that they serve.
Vosronoth is, the translation is the outcast, but the conjugation is as a noun, not as an adjective.
Which would imply that it's a person.
So possibly a person.
Right.
With this,
that's what
with
I'm
this
wondering
title.
because. Right.
Could just be the idea of a person. Or some sort of... The Red Wolf is... they're big with, their symbology and their beliefs, and so it very well could be just a metaphor for the goal that they're trying to achieve. A figure to rally behind.
The fallen storm. But these are all different things, right? They're all separate on this ladder. There's Archfey Delmuck at the very top, right? And then there's the Red Wolf. And then below him, Fallen Storm. And all of his brethren, these people under him, if we can call them that, in service to that idea, the Fallen Storm, right? That's as much as I can make of it. So where Vosronoth lies in that, whether it is the same as the Fallen Storm, or it is something separate to the outcast, or maybe that's Delmuck, or a reincarnation. I've seen so much in the last few weeks of history prior to any written history that I am aware of. That, we're just grabbing at straws here. But Vosronoth is the key. Of that, I'm certain. So, whatever you can dig up with that silly robe of yours.
I'll try my best.
That's all I ask. You ready to go, Shraya?
Yes, and I'm very absorbed in looking at the eyes on this bracelet and like trying to see past the little infinity vanishing point of them. Yes, let's go. Kind of half walking, half just eyes are still on this thing.
And as you guys walk out, you pass through the doorway outside of this abyss. And as you walk out and step out onto the front porch, you are greeted by Olma and Flynn stepping back towards the house.
As we got closer to the house, I would have almost kind of like take a few deep breaths and kind of like put on a smile as we kind of get closer. Still over Olma's shoulder, but it's kind of like,
Yeah.
Flynn, how are you, lad?
I'm good. I just went out for some practice and I kind of worked a little too hard.
Beats me as to why you'd go out to practice after that, but
I just needed to work through it, and practicing gets me through it. So, yeah, I just need a rest now.
of that, I have no doubt. We've all earned a bit of a slumber.
Yeah. Where are we doing that, by the way?
Oh, there's that place with that guy we sold the horse to.
The stables?
Ah,
The inn connected to the stables?
yeah, we can stop there.
Can
Fortunately,
someone take him? He's so heavy.
I'm not doing it. Shia?
Come on, you're the strongest of the group, Ceallach.
It's not a chance, Flynn. You went and worked yourself out all by yourself. It's not my responsibility.
I may be tall, but not particularly. I don't have oomph when I pick things
Oh,
up.
come on. If I was able to get him here, just throw his arm over you.
Guys, it's fine. I'll do it and I'll step off. I'll fall.
Shia, you literally carry him through the sky all the time.
Fine. Come here. Would you like to go? And I try to move my wings so that maybe he can go on my shoulders.
I'll hop up, grab onto his shoulder and kind of rest up on his shoulder.
And my feathers on my neck just kind of yes, this is fine.
I mean, I just meant can he lean on someone while we walk? I wasn't expecting anybody to carry
It's
him.
a short
but whatever.
distance.
From
You know,
from
it's-
his shoulder. the only really person I can lean on is you. If I lean on anyone else, I'm kind of just leaning on their hip.
What's so wrong about that?
Not as comfortable? I don't know. We could try it.
You're already there.
You're already on his back.
All right. Let's go.
We head to the inn.
Okay.
Mhm.
You guys get back to the inn, and you guys see the stables there, and just over the door, sort of carved into this piece of wood, naming the establishment, you see the name says Inn and Stables. You get the sense that this is not a large town, so specific names are not needed. This is the inn and stables of the town. And as you guys walk in, you see behind the counter is a young dwarven woman, fast asleep, sort of feet kicked up onto the table in front of her, and just fully asleep.
Excuse me, miss.
Still asleep.
Young lass. Pardon me. Oh my word, if it isn't the forces of Andel come through the door to kill all the dwarves of this nation. Oh my. Hey, wake up! Wake up, you laggard!
Is there a bell on the counter?
I'm just banging on the counter in my
I will walk up around Ceallach and look at the bell and look at him as he's yelling and just ding, 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 ding.
Hello.
If you don't just...
Hi.
Oh.
I'm sorry.
Hello. Hi.
Sorry. I was a little tired there. What can I help you with?
I couldn't tell. You looked alert. So, but thank you. We would just like a room for the night. I don't know what you have available.
Yeah, we have a couple rooms. We've got. If you just want to head upstairs, I think most. And she looks down at her little book in front of her. She flips through the pages. Yeah, any room. Go upstairs and pick a room.
And what will that cost?
For a room, that's going to be well. If you could just tell me which room you pick, because there's two sort of bigger ones in the back. That's going to be silver, and then all the rest of them are just 5 copper for the night.
I'll take the two big ones.
That's 2 silver.
2 silver? Right here.
Thank you. And you can head up and go to your... Do you have any luggage with you? Any bags that need to be taken upstairs?
We'll handle that. No
Okay.
worries.
If you have
Appreciate it.
anything that you need, I'll be right here.
I hear if you rub just a dab of charcoal on your eyelids, no one will ever be the wiser.
And I hear if you mind your own business, no one will ever be the wiser.
I'm just trying to help you run your establishment, you bloody imbecile.
Ceallach!
Foolish.
Ceallach,
Do you have any
we're
idea
staying
what
in
we've been through today? Do you have any idea the
Ceallach,
hardship
Ceallach.
it takes on the road to come here? And you're going to sass me after I've paid for your
Ceallach,
nonsense?
This is
I'm
the
sure
only
the roads here
inn.
are rubbish.
this is the only inn. As I'm trying to pull him away from you.
And I whisper up to Flynn, is this part of the business ritual in this country?
I'm passed out. But
Oh,
you just hear me like,
As Ceallach is yelling, I'm like pushing, I'm pulling
I'll
him.
have you know, I've endured hardship after hardship just to do the kindness,
And
just to give
as
this
almost
world.
pulling you away, she just sort of looks and smiles and gives you that little finger waggle as she's saying goodbye.
Must be normal.
huh? What, Shraya? What do you need?
You guys make your way up into the room. The 2 rooms, depending on how you want to split this. Each of them have 2 beds in them and seem to be just like a very simple, not very ornate, just place to rest your head. Is there anything you guys want to do before you actually bed down for the night?
Does the inn have food?
You didn't see any
Or is there
walking
a
in.
tavern? Okay.
I put both my hands on my staff, lightly touch it to the corner of the room, and just vines grow out into this interwoven, slow-growing, what looks like kind of nest bed.
Okay.
As I lay in bed and nod off, like as I'm falling asleep, I'll just be staring at the ceiling in pitch black, just thinking about that room, the other room, one in my head, thinking about that figure, what they offered me, and what would have happened if I took it. Would that have made me stronger?
I'd like to grab a moment with Shraya if I could. I'll make my way over to his little leafy bed. And just sort of sit on the floor next to it. Is there a window in this room?
Yes, there is.
And I'm gonna look out it. Because we've been cloistered in a weird space prison for a little while.
You know, Carrick, as he approaches, I've never seen you get that impassioned in an establishment. Is that a show of strength?
Quite the opposite, Shraya. My patience has been strained of late. I have to wonder, Shraya. You and I, we're on a similar track. A similar path. How is it you adhere so unerringly to your respect for Eldoria?
Eldoria is timeless. Her laws are in the very air you breathe and in the very food you eat. Eldoria is everywhere. Eldoria is in the creatures that inhabit the land, the insects that crawl up your arm, and in your hand, in your very hand that goes to smash that pesky creature. She's everywhere, all at once. If I seem unwavering in my respect toward her, it is as simple as breathing to me. It is as simple as the twitch of an eye. Perhaps the twitch of an eye of that owl I had grown so fond of not too long ago. Eldoria's there too, in the spark of connection between our very party. And Eldoria's also there in the agents of destruction that seek to divide this world. She is under their feet in the ground. She is through the waters that they try to part. She even sustains the warring factions of this world. If I have respect toward Eldoria, it is because she does not discriminate. She is everywhere, all at once.
I look down at my bandaged hand. Eldoria's not in my hand, Shraya.
I look closer at his hand. Do I sense that any, is her presence there at all?
Make a either religion or arcana check.
With Arcana. Natural 1.
Nope. Nope.
What remains in your arm is past my sense of vision or understanding. I can't ever discern what it is, or from which source what you are able to do flows from. It is at times fascinating and terrifying. if I'm being completely honest.
Scares me too, Shraya. I love the way you speak. It reminds me of who I used to be. I used to feel the way you felt. The light reflected off everything. And therefore Famir was there for everything. Even in the night sky, there's thousands and thousands of stars. But it's all different now. And, for a moment, I thought, well, what does it matter? The source of justice. As long as it can be dealt. But then we got into these binds, and we're debating about the worth. Flynn's life and my life and the life of a sheep and the life of a cyclops. Right? Who should be mounted on whose mantle? Who should be given up for someone else's safety? Those things used to have a hierarchy. Starting with the highest of the temple. The highest order, the Kaum. And then, it went down and down and down into the lesser creatures of the world. And it was safe to say that their lives were important, and a blessing. A thing that Famir respected and valued. But less. Less than the lives of her congregation. But I've seen where the ashes go. And those souls are enmeshed together. In quite the way you've described Eldoria. But only in the Argent Plains. So it's hard to know what to make of it all.
I have my own struggles. Seeing the fingers that have punctured their way into this world. The fingers of new blood, new bone, new energy coursing through the land, quite transforming from what it once was. I couldn't remain in the dark. I couldn't deny it. In fact, these very things you speak of, although internally I wish to run away, another part of me wishes and sincerely hopes for coexistence, even though I know that these forces, in every iteration and evidence I've seen, can't help but be at odds.
Hayfreed said that the Red Wolf and his cubs, they want this chaos, they want to create more friction. They're probably stoking the flames of this war. I believe it. Which means that, really, despite the complexity of all of this, the two things at stake here are order and chaos, to some extent. And that merging those borders, fusing those hemorrhages between people, that's the goal. That's the way we stop it. And in that way, it doesn't matter whether it's ashes or earth or light, so long as it's clumped together united.
I wish to be a force that unites and not divides. I spent so much of my time before meeting our new happy family, spent in disconnection and ill repair. I hope that we can bring the bonds that we've created between ourselves, perhaps heal this fractured world.
What was this place you left, Shraya? Where?
I sort of wince, look away, and then look back up at the sky. It is a family that I am no longer welcome in. As my feathers sort of quiver a little bit. I've had many families. You all are my third. And I suppose the third is one that I hope lasts for longer. As I kind of put my head in my face a little bit. My ancestral homeland, I was taken away from it. Not by choice, but I think the word for it in civilization is banished. And then, when I tried to find a home amongst the very beasts I had reached out toward, I was banished again.
Are you trying to heal the gap between those groups? Your family and this second family, the wolves?
Yes, there was always disdain. I never thought that there needed to be division between the higher creatures, like you mentioned, and the lesser creatures. I tried to, both in my mind and in the energy I felt coursing through me. I thought that there was a way to unite, and still to this day, where I draw my power from involves a uniting, an intertwining of all beings from which I am just a channel, from which that energy springs forth. The way that I even found that was through a sort of hibernation, was through a sort of exile and year-long meditation. I found myself in a sacred space, from whence, and I bring my staff above his face, from whence I found the very keystone of this focal point. And as I say focal point, I clutch the crystal, and my hand as it quivers. You can almost see into this crystal if you look at it, as it pulses. You see inside of it just what looks like this hall that goes on forever of these infinite purple pinkish crystals that sort of glow and twinkle in this kind of what would be perhaps perceived by humans as like this infinity mirror of crystals, of pink purple crystals.
I see why you like crystals, Shraya. That's marvelous.
We all have our places from which we derive the thing that makes us most feel at home, or able to exercise our own will or our own talents. I've never shown anyone that before.
Well, I'm honored. And I don't know how strong or long your previous families lasted. But ours has a secret weapon, right? The rope of friendship.
Yes. Something so simple and so gleeful. I've perhaps learned that in order to bind a family. It doesn't need to be life or death, or very serious all the time.
Aye. We're bound in that way. And also in this goal. And, Seeker told me I couldn't save the world. I don't know if I think that's true or not, but at the very least, I can repair it.
At the very least, we can fill in the cracks of this fractured world by our will, and perhaps with a little bit of good fortune.
Seems that we'll need a try.
I think we should get some rest before the morning comes.
Hi. If you don't mind, I think I'm just gonna lie here.
Sure.
And as I touched the bottom of my staff toward the ground again, and there becomes like an extension of the little nest, but at the top you see these sort of like lamb's ear type leaves sprouting across the top to form this flat plane of just softness.
All right. And with that, you guys all lay your heads down on your pillows, and some of you not pillows, but close your eyes for the night here and get yourselves a long rest. Flynn, the entire night, your dreams are riddled with images flashing. You are in a small room. Stone walls all around you. A table in the center. Only one door to leave. A shadowed creature looms over you. These eyes glowing white, piercing into your soul. You feel afraid. Feel terrified. You drop to your knees. And as you do, this creature gets closer and closer to you. And he reaches his hand out. And he wraps it around your arm. And he wraps his other hand around your other arm. And then he releases you. And as he releases you, you look to both of your arms, and you are now completely shackled in chains. And you look down, and you can barely move your arms. And you look down to your legs, and your legs are shackled as well. You look back up to this shadowed creature, and a smile begins to draw over their face. And its eyes pulse white. And you're blinded for a moment, but once you regain your vision, you look around, and you are chained to the center of a floating platform in an endless void. You can see other platforms floating around you. You can see a cage encompassing you. You look around and you can see standing there Shraya, Ceallach, Olma, standing there perfectly still. They seem calm, but you wouldn't be able to tell that as their faces are gone. Completely flat surfaces cover their head. Each of them pulls their hand out from behind their back, and they're each brandishing a knife. The cage in front of you, the door opens. They walk in towards you, and each plunge their knife deep into your chest. You're shocked for a moment, and your vision goes fuzzy once again as you open your eyes once more, and these shackles remain, but now you're chained down to a table. And you look off to your left, and you see a sheep laying on a table there. Its arms and legs similarly shackled, but its head turns to you. And you can see its eyes. And it opens its mouth. And it says, Don't do this. And that is where we're going to end this session. We're going to call it right there.
Oh, man.
Thank you all so much for listening, and we can't wait to see y'all again next week.
Bye, nerds.
Bye, nerds.
Nerds.
Hey, this is Russ. I play Flynn on Venture Forth. Thanks again for listening. Just wanted to remind you that we have a Patreon if you want to check that out. There's some pretty cool stuff on there. Also, on YouTube, we've been doing spotlights, which are kind of small little snippets of each episode that we thought were pretty cool. So if you want to go check them out, go on our YouTube page, and we'll see you there. See you in the next one. Bye.